Welcome to a brand new episode of Getting to the Truth in This Art. I'm your host, Rob Lee, and today's guests are Steve Chu and Ephrem Abebe. I botched that a little bit, didn't I?
Yeah, a little bit.
9 out of 10, though. 9 out of 10.
Okay. 9 out of 10. Good. So I want to thank you guys for coming on and welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us. Yep.
Yeah, and this is it's rare that I do two people at once, so that's why I'm a little thrown off. But so I want to get into the story, like you guys starting here, you guys kind of building up the business, and what's the story and the inspiration behind your business?
So we all met in college, just like building houses for Habitat for Humanity, and we always kind of wanted to go in business together. And at first we wanted to do a food truck, but when it came down to it, a food truck was $80,000, and we were 23 at the time. And I think a combination of the three of us, we had $10 to our names and maybe a extra pan button. Yep. Yeah, that was about it. So we had to kind of retool how we wanted to approach this business. So we got a hot dog cart, and then the hot dog cart turned into a restaurant.
Okay. So what's the flavor on the hot dog cart? Is ketchup part of the dog? What are we doing there in this original setup that you guys had?
The hot dog cart, that was just a vehicle that we could use. It worked for what we needed it to be. We didn't do any hot dogs at all. We did pretty similar food to what we're doing now. Minus some of the fried stuff. It's pretty hard to fry chicken on a hot dog cart. So we did a lot of braised items. That was really cool. And then we just kept at it.
So with it, starting off there, you wanted to go into business, and meager dollars, slim dollars at the time. So what was some of the training and some of that background that you had from maybe a culinary standpoint and also from a business standpoint that said, all right, this is going to be the right move? Because I've had a few food truck ideas as well, and I've gotten to that point where it's I can't afford this. And I just kind of pivoted to something else. And you guys had the perseverance to go on. So what training and background did you have to say, this is what we're doing?
I've been working in restaurants ever since I can remember. First job I got, I was 13. I was doing dishes and stuff. And then I worked for Chipotle for a little bit, and I helped them open up their Asian concept. I worked for Foreman Wolf. I worked in New York for a little bit. In total, I think my training took 10 years. We're still learning every day to this day. I worked 10 years before we started the hot dog cart.
Okay. Yeah.
And he was the world's best Starbucks manager.
Yeah. That was fun. You learn a lot of tricks of the trade when you were there. They actually have pretty decent system for management and training and all of that. So that was pretty educational.
Did your name tag say James on it?
No, unfortunately, it did not. But I guess when we started, it was you have to have the knowledge of the food, and your food has to be right, and then on top of that, you just have to be willing to work, 25 hours out of the 24 you got and make it work,
Yeah, it's really not hard to start a business or to have a successful business. You just have to work your ass off, and that's it. Yeah, and if you think you're working hard, you're really not working that hard. Because the hard workers never say they're working hard. They're just I'm just living life,
It's almost like you're too busy to think that you're working hard. I'm just busy.
Yeah.
Because like trying to build this thing that I'm doing here, like I've been a podcaster in Baltimore for almost 12 years, and it's nowhere near like running a business in terms of like the prestige and in terms of like some of the workload that's there. But I do understand the importance of like hard work and putting yourself out there, putting the work in. If you want to succeed in it, you get out of it what you put into it, I think. So speak on the menu a little bit. I want to know a little bit more about what does it take? What goes into developing the menu?
A lot of bad food, like a ton of bad food, a lot of wasted food, a lot of like weird faces and like people being mad at each other. Like, why would you serve me this?
That's funny.
Yeah, definitely a lot of emotions. And then, once in a while you'll hit something that you're like, oh, this is good. And then you'll be like, well, fuck, how did I make this? I forgot.
It's like me editing a podcast or me doing something in my analyst job. Like, how did I run that script again? Ah, shit. How am I going to get back to that?
Yeah, pretty much.
So what I read is your restaurant it has a focus in like it's like Asian fusion, and like why Baltimore for Asian fusion? Speak a little bit on that.
So we all met each other in Baltimore. You know, we all went to UMBC, and I grew up I spent like half the time in Montgomery County and the other half the time in Baltimore County. And I don't know, it's just like something about Baltimore that just kept on calling us back. And like the people are awesome, the neighborhood's great, and like Baltimore is really the neighborhood in the city that raised us. Like they gave a bunch of like 20-something-year-olds a chance at a hot dog cart, and gave the hot dog cart enough business for it to open up its own restaurant. Like that's pretty crazy. Like it costs like $250,000 to open up a restaurant. So from a hot dog cart to generate that much revenue, it was like a big blessing, you know?
Yeah, that's one of those things that I read about. Like Baltimore definitely looks out for like people who are from here and who are like about Baltimore. There are a lot of people who come in despite this kind of reputation, this malign reputation, I like to call it. I think we're a real city. I think we're a gritty city, but also I think that there's a lot of talent and a lot of just cool shit that's happening here. And I think there's more focus in the negative than what the reality is. But one key component that I've kind of gotten out of doing this podcast is people support their own. People support, like, if you're from here, we're supporting you. And what is something like memorable that you could say like you've experienced from that, maybe that support standpoint when it comes to like being in business here, that you've gotten, you're like, all right, this is one of the reasons why we're doing this. You would only get this from here. This is good.
Yeah, I mean, I think like one of like the best things is when Baltimore is there to let you know when you mess up. And it's coming from a good place. That's what's like what I love about it is, saying, hey, like, we love you, you're awesome, but you need to fix this, or like this how you can do it to do it better, as opposed to just like writing you off. And that's just great to have, and it's just wonderful. Like there's great support.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I'm seeing out there, and that's what people have been saying, especially like during the last 6, 8, however many months it's been. I don't look at a calendar anymore because I don't know like what month it is outside of, okay, it's starting to get a little colder in the morning. So I noticed that like businesses have been like just kind of pivoting, changing how they do business, maybe doing the take home thing, maybe doing online things, classes and so on. I've seen a fair amount of restaurants start podcasting, which I like, you step into my territory. Come on, guys. So what are some things what are some trade secrets that you guys are doing, like, to kind of pivot in this, or how's that gone? Like, how's your business maybe changed obviously during like COVID, how has that changed, and what kind of pivots and what kind of things are you guys doing that are like combating the new normal?
Like everything that we've done and implemented it's to like make sure our team is safe and healthy. And also to build like a really safe and comfortable environment for our guests. And like one of the biggest challenges is definitely dealing with like people's expectations and the struggles that they're going through with COVID that's outside of the restaurant. Like that's been really, really, it's been a big challenge. But yeah, just building the best, safest environment that we can for the team. Like that's all we can really do.
Okay.
But yeah, like when it comes to pivoting, that's kind of all we did. Was the number one concern is safety, and that's it. We do have a lot of people that come in and they're like, I don't understand, I have to wear a mask. It's like bitch, don't you read the fucking news? Like, do you not have a smartphone? Oh yeah, and then there's some people coming in, they're like, I don't like it that you're online only. How entitled is that? What if we don't have the internet? And I'm like, dude, you're on Yelp writing us a review. Like, what do you have the internet, bro? And if you don't have the internet, or like you have a flip phone, chances are you're probably like 82 years old and eating fried broccoli or fried chicken's probably not in your best interest. And they just like, yeah, they get so mad at us. Like, why are you getting mad, man? Like,
I mean, I would see like, I remember I was in maybe Federal Hill, and you just go past like businesses and see like what's happening, and I saw it was like one sign that was in the window. I think it was like a gift card shop or something. And it was like, I'm sorry that COVID ruined your birthday, your insert, whatever. And I was just like, who gives a shit? And I was like, wow, this is great. And like, I noticed that that's the thing. Like I've had, I'm friends with, Roz that runs Diablo's, Donuts. And, he would tell us just different stuff. Me and my man, Dan, he would tell us different stuff that's happening. And, Chris from, Sophomore and, in the city or what have you, Sophomore Coffee. And you would just get these different wild responses. And it's just like, look, you're here to spend some discretionary income and enjoy something that at the end of the day isn't the most important thing in the world. So fucking tighten up.
Yeah, like there's billions of people on this planet and everyone's required to wear a mask. Like, what makes you so special? Oh, it's your fucking birthday? Whoop-de-doo. Like what?
That's some fried chicken. That's some fried chicken and fuck off.
Yeah, dude, that's selfish motherfuckers, man. I'm telling you.
All right. So, going back a little bit. So you guys have been like, really, really successful. I'm from a little bit like a big shot that I got you guys on this podcast. So, what would you attribute like to some of your success? And if you already have said it, please expand on it a little bit.
I think really like if we have any successes, it's because of our team. Like that team that's everything. I mean, they run the restaurants. They tell us what we need to do. They're the ones, dealing with the customers day in, day out. I mean, yeah. When COVID first started, for example, they're the ones that are like, hey, these are our ideas. This is how we should implement this. And then we just, discussed it and went forward with it. And they've been like, troopers about it. And that, I think that's the one thing that works. That's consistent and always works for us.
Okay. It's good to have
Oh, sorry. And like the team has also been able to like take on and share the work ethic that Ephrem and I share. And it's been really awesome to see that. Like, we straight up like team no sleep, man. Like we'll work like 16 hours back to back to back to back, and it'd be like fucking nothing. I mean, it's something, but yeah, it's cake.
Oh yeah, I dig that. Just team no sleep. Yeah. So I know it's been different, but no, in I guess in a different time, what would be a typical day at Ekiben?
For who?
Yeah. That's a loaded question.
Yeah, that is a loaded question. Well,
So like every
weekday.
day, it's like a strive to be better than yesterday.
Sure.
So every day we're just trying to push the envelope forward, whether it's like improving the product or technique or training. It's really big, or like improving the culture of the company. Like every day, like the company has to move forward, little by little. And that's kind of like everyone's job in the whole company. Right? Whether you're like a dishwasher, it's like, how do you wash dishes better so you can move to another station? Or if you're a manager, it's like, how do I lead my team better? Or for us, it's like, well, how do we make sure these systems are like more efficient for the team? How do we like train people better? Yeah, it's always like, how to be better. So
makes sense. It's always just whatever. The next day, just be better than your last. And you it sounds simple and you hear it all the time, but people don't really apply it. It's just like, how can this be easier? Like, no, if you're doing it better, being easier can be baked in. You can be more efficient. You can do it better, and it's a better experience and for everyone that's involved, I think, potentially.
Yeah.
So let's see.
I mean, like we're all like children of immigrants. I think we really take that like, you better get like A+ mentality to like everyone on the staff. Like if you look at our team, they're like all super diverse too. So like watching everyone's work ethic, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I have a few more questions. Some are going to get weird, but not too weird. Well, with this one, I have advice you to give to someone that's an amateur chef or that wants to get into cooking, or someone that wants to go into business. You touched a little bit earlier, like it's not necessarily hard to, start a business or what have you, but you have to bust your ass. So some advice you'd give to someone either from a cooking standpoint, running a restaurant standpoint, or being an entrepreneur.
I guess from it's like running a restaurant. Like what I learn more every day is that you just need to keep listen and learn, and you can learn from anybody and everybody. So like we were trying to just build an environment where like you're learning from each other all day, every day. That's a very big thing. It helps me grow personally. I think from cooking standpoint.
I mean, you just work hard and like keep your head down. Shut the fuck up. Like that's a big one. No, I'm serious, because if you're talking, you ain't fucking working. Like,
You're right.
That's it, yo. And like, there's always someone working harder than you. Yeah. Just keep on going. And if you think you're at the top, like you're done. You just keep on climbing their mountain nonstop. Yeah. And just always learn. Just always learn, always be better. Like, just be humble. When you go out and learn and ask for advice, or if you're working for like a chef or someone that's like older than you, just learn from them, Stop like mansplaining and just listen. And you don't have to agree with what they're saying, but if they're taking the time out to talk to you and to like teach you these things, you might as well listen. Like, people who are older than you, they've lived through life longer than you, so they've gone through like a bunch of shit. And for them to tell you their mistakes or whatever, they're showing you potholes that might come in your future, and it would do you a big service if you listened. Because kids nowadays are just like, I don't have to listen to shit. I get all my news off Instagram. It's like, no. Oh my goodness.
BuzzFeed, Instagram, Twitter. It's like, no, get it from another person. They've seen it. It's a pothole coming right there. You're not even paying attention in your fucking phone. All right. So let's see. One last question about about Ekiben and food. What is your favorite dish to create, to prepare? That's either just your situation or at your restaurant. What is your favorite thing? It's like, yeah, I'm gonna do chicken today. I'm gonna do some fried chicken today.
In the restaurant for me right now is to make the borrego bun. It's just like really awesome. Like when you build it, it looks super tasty. Like I just want to bite into it before I hand it to a customer. I can't, so I just keep making it. But it's a pretty awesome dish to make.
Yeah.
At home, I don't know. I have like a kid, so I just like he loves like simple food, man. It's just like you boil him some broccoli and he's a happy kid. So it's just like that's just like really awesome. Just like wake up in the morning and just like boil some broccoli for a kid. That's a good way to start your day.
I think I'm gonna start my day with some broccoli. I think I'll make that happen.
Neighborhood bird is definitely like my jam. It's become such a popular sandwich. It's kind of mind blowing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like so much finesse that it takes to like make this product right. There's so much care in every step to get that like perfect fried chicken like into the guest's hands. It's awesome. At home, I'm definitely not frying anything at home because I like my couch to smell clean and not like grease. I just like eat real simple stuff at home. Like I'm like a kale salad and almonds kind of guy. I'm mad fucking boring, dude. I'll wake up, have a green smoothie and a coffee, and I'm like out the door. In my green smoothies, I pack a bunch of stuff like nuts, fruits, veggies. Like it is thick. It's like a Dairy Queen, like turn it upside down, it's not gonna fall out of your glass type deal. But that'll give me enough energy for like 6 to 8 hours. And then lunch is just like whatever I want.
I dig it. Okay, so here's the last few questions that I had, and again, thank you guys for coming on. This has been good. This has been a treat for me. Describe a perfect Baltimore meal? What is included? Oh,
dude. So like one of the best things about the Baltimore food scene, and this was like something that you were talking about earlier, how about like Baltimore and like public perception of Baltimore, but Baltimore has great craftsmen. Like if we compare like Baltimore restaurants to DC restaurants, like pound for pound, I think Baltimore restaurants are better. They might not be as fancy,
Sure.
and the dollar amount might not be as high, but the amount of care that like everyone puts in their food in this city is, it's everything. Like pound for pound, man, our fundamentals are right. We know how to cook, we know how to season, and we just want to learn. We're hungry,
I had a few last questions that will have you, and then again, shameless plug, and thank you again for kind of hanging on here, because there have been people who say, I'm done, bye. So let's see. I think we were on the Baltimore food question, but I think you answered it, so I think I have that. That should be fine. I guess the last question that I had, what's the most recent song you've listened to? Yeah, a little bit of a weird question, but kind of gives you an idea of a person's proclivities. What are you listening to right now?
Well, you don't listen to music?
Yeah, like
you love country music.
I do love country music.
Redneck, hillbilly motherfucker.
I grew up in Southwest Virginia, so I listen to a lot of country music.
Okay. That's pretty unexpected, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, I know like 2 country songs. I was just, and I can't name them. No, don't put me on the spot to name them. I have no idea where they are.
I'm not going to. No, I don't even know the title of that song. We actually used to play it at the farmer's market.
Taylor Swift, Love Story.
I do like that song. That's a good song. I can't help the feelings.
I can't stop the feeling. Oh, that 70s joint?
No. It's from group and stuff like that.
So he likes the I'll just say it for you. Any song that comes on Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that was from that. I don't know.
Just any song out of those two movies.
It's pretty good.
It's a very good playlist. Yeah, it's great.
It's like the awesome mix, right? Yeah.
It is actually an awesome mix. It's the best mix, actually. Best soundtrack out of any movie, like hands down.
It's pretty fire. Yeah, like I think that's pretty much it. That's all I had. So, do you guys have anything you want to get over? You want to say any plugs you want to put in before we wrap up? I always like to call this last few minutes shameless plug time. So, I mean, whatever you guys want to say.
Thank you for supporting.
Yeah, no,
that's it. Yeah,
thanks for having us on. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
And thanks for all of Baltimore for keeping us afloat during COVID. There's just been like so much love. It's been great. So we just want to grind harder for all y'all.
Well, that's great. There you have it, folks. There you have it. And so I guess I'll sign off. And again, thank you guys for coming on. I'm sure you have other things, more important things to do, but thank you for taking the time to chat with me. So this has been Getting to the Truth in This Art, saying that there's art in and around Baltimore. All you have to do is look for it.